So this is going to be a start to how you can do some of the tricks in Amnesia, Rebirth. I'm going to show you how to enable debug mode and somewhat how to use it and how clipping works and how you do prop flies, stuff like that. This would be more of a general strategies video than a specific route. So the first thing you want to do is enable debug mode. It helps a lot with speedrunning and practice. You don't want to have it enabled when you're doing runs. Weird things can happen. Just don't do it. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go to this directory. I blocked out some sort of code. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But what I like to do is I back up the user settings and I will make a copy and I just name it normal. And then I open the file and or open the user settings file and make modifications. Because the reason why you want to do this is if you go into debug mode and enable God mode, and then you disable debug mode, God mode is still enabled. And same with everything else. So you don't want that during a run. That could invalidate it, all sorts of things. So you can open up your user settings file and you will change debug mode to be true and make sure the game is closed, because if the game is open, it will overwrite this file. But if it's closed and then you reopen it with it set to true, you can go in game and I just press the reload button, but you can press F1 and it'll open the debug menu. A couple of nice hotkeys. There's F3, which basically speeds up the game a lot. There's F4, which slows it down. F2, I think, is pause. I never really use that. F5 will reload your current position. It's the same as pressing this button. You can check or uncheck this to basically start from either the beginning of the map or where you're at. F7 goes into camera mode. Make sure you do not quick save and quick load when you are in camera mode. Your game will crash. F9 is quick save. F10 is quick load. I'm not going to show it. I think F11 is script debug. Don't have script debug on as much as you can because it can really mess with stuff. If you want to load into a map with some of the required items, you can see I don't have very many things. If you have script debug on, it will just give you those items. And I think that's the main hotkeys. Really useful stuff is doing spectator cam, and you can do player to cam, and you see it teleported me there. You can do this for, let's say you're having trouble getting this clip, or you don't want to practice this clip, and you just want to go over here. You do player cam, and it teleports you right there. Hold shift, and you can also sprint with the camera. So another useful thing is this physics debug. It's under the debug section. You can click this and it'll show you all of the physics collisions. And this right here is like a trigger, basically. I don't know what this one does, but they have all sorts of triggers all over the place, and it'll help you. Maybe it was the how do I get through, or to trigger the doctor going. I don't know. But here's another trigger. You see it's just like a giant pink plane. I think that's pretty good for here. So we're gonna get into prop clipping. Prop clipping is using a thing called a regrab glitch. So let's set this down. You see how it has collision. It has collision right now while I'm not grabbed onto it. I can run into it. If I grab it, I can, the collision is disabled. I can move it inside of me, all that sort of stuff. we don't want that. So the way this glitch works is you are going to be re-grabbing the prop. You see, you grab it once, collision disabled. But if you grab it, release and re-grab really quickly, collision is enabled. Well, actually, sorry, I spoke wrong. So if you have it inside of you, which is something it checks for, and you release regrab, it enables collision really quickly. Let's see if I can get on top of it to show you. As long as you're colliding with the prop. So grab it once, I'll fall through. Get on top, quickly release and regrab, and now I have collision. And I've actually activated a prop hover. You can see the collision is enabled, and I'm able to jump on it. That is a pretty major trick. So, again, the inputs are make sure you're colliding with the object. It's required. You'll quickly press left mouse, or your grab, release, and then re-grab with left mouse. Almost like a double click. I'm not on it enough because the prop collision's a little weird. But you're basically like double clicking, and you see I'm holding left mouse button. That's prop hovering. I'll get a little more into that in each route video as to what you should do for scrolling the prop in and out. Because as you might imagine, if you have a floor below your feet, if you pull the floor too close to your feet, the floor might freak out. So let's show a good example of that. Let's grab this prop, and we're over here, and you can see how it's pretty stable since I was just on top of it. But I'm going to scroll in. It gives me a shit ton of height, but it makes it way less stable. I'm way more likely to fall. If I do the same sort of thing, but scroll out, I start losing height. These are both very useful. And scroll, I mean mouse wheel. So prop clips are the same sort of thing. Basically what you want to do is do the same glitch as the regrab glitch is what it's called. And you want to grab the prop once so that the collision is not really enabled. Pull it towards you, or in whatever way it's going to work with the prop. It's a little different for every prop. So what I did to pull it towards me is you can press, I think it's either T or middle click. I use middle click. You want to put it inside of your body. And then you want to do the same thing as a prop clip, release and regrab. And you saw how it moved me. That's because the collision was activated inside of my body, and it tries to make those two things not be in the same spot. So we can actually abuse this by grabbing at a certain spot. Let's say right here, pulling it towards you. So I'm shoving it inside of my body, and because of where I grabbed it, if I release and regrab, it pushes me through this wall. I'm going to reload the map just so I can show a couple of things. I pressed F5. So you'll come over here. I like to grab in this corner. Something to note, if you are going to be clipping with a prop, and because you can do like a side clip in this direction, you can do a back clip, you can do like a corner kind of diagonal clip, even a forwards clip. Those are a little harder in this game. But if you're going to clip with your right side, you grab the prop on the right side. So you can see physics debug. This is what it actually looks like. If you grab it on the right side, where I did, I'm going to do a right clip. If you grabbed it on the left side, you could do a left clip. I haven't tried it with this prop in this exact spot, but let's see if that works. Yep. But if I were to grab it, let's say in the middle, I have no idea which direction it's going to push me. So maybe it'll work, and it did, but it won't always. So if I wanted to clip with this prop, I would click on the right side, come over here, I don't know if I can actually make it in this spot, but you get the idea. Release and regrab, and it would push me through. Something you kind of want to make sure of, and it kind of helps, is that when you do clip with a prop and you want to go through this door, you want it to be kind of, I think the correct phrase is perpendicular. So you want to, this is my normal setup with this chair. Every prop is different. So I'm grabbing in the top right, or top left-ish, somewhere around there. I middle click to pull it close to me. And you see how the chair is kind of like perpendicular with the door, completely lined up, and the chair is pulled inside of me. If I release and regrab, it'll push me through. Having like a straight line and you being in between the prop and that straight line really helps with your prop clips. This is a good example of a prop that probably won't work if I do it properly. So I'm grabbed on the left side, and I'm going to try to do a left clip. And of course it works. Yeah, it's a general rule of thumb. It's a very forgiving prop. I grabbed it properly, I guess. So maybe I'll grab all the way on the right and try to clip left. Yeah. See, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you'll try to clip with it and it'll push you in a direction. You see how it's pushing me to the right? If I grab there again and do it and it pushes me to the right. You can kind of get a feel for this. It takes some getting used to.